line that's coming down.
Got nothing on it. It's like maybe some light or something.
The light, yeah. Okay, cool. Okay.
It's all right. Cool, Dobbo. We can just start with the team selection. A lot of people quite excited already about that backline that you've chosen. But also, I think it's quite a big, fearsome forward pack as well.
Yeah, very happy with the team we put up. We worked so hard on building some depth, and it's so nice. You know, we actually talking about this last night. You know, about how we're going to plan the next phase. You know, the couple of home games, and there's not one of the guys even on this trip who's some of who would weaken this team. So yeah, to have do a couple of rotations and still feel such a strong team is I think it's a good reflection that it's a squad. And as we've said so often this season, this is a squad season. It's not a team season, so it's good.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at some of the guys making their kind of first starts of the season, I think it's Andre, Villy, Herschel, Sasha, and Alapati obviously on debut, and those are all serious players.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really chuffed with where we are in terms of depth, and and we've got some nice plans for the next couple of weeks as well. I'm very excited with the team.
Cool. Moon, from your side, another tour game in Italy where you're captaining. Does it remind you of the start of last season, maybe?
Yeah, we actually spoke about it this morning, Mike. It's obviously always an honor and privilege to captain the team. It's really nice to be back. You can see the teams work really hard during the off season, and we'll be looking to build on that, Mike. Yep.
Yeah, cool. How was the captains? How are the conditions there? What's the stadium like?
It was good. The pitch is really nice. It's in top condition. The weather is quite warm. So it's going to be a nice spectacle of rugby, I think, both sides. So we're really looking forward to that.
Yeah, and obviously on Zebra's side, we've seen some competitive games from them this season against good teams. So we're obviously expecting a tough game, man.
Yeah, absolutely. They're definitely not that same team of last year. They've made some changes in the management as well as the team. They've got in some new players. So they'll be ready to go. They'll be excited. They're playing a nice brand of rugby, taking a lot of pride in the attack. So we'll be well prepped for that.
Nice one, guys. Okay, we'll turn it over to you for questions if you want to stick your hands up for these two. Jan de Koning. Go for it, Jan.
Thank you, Michael. John, Moerat. I think the key question is a lot of people see Zebre as one of those teams that you should beat or you should win a game against them. But how difficult is it traveling there? I mean, I know that you got a bit of background in Italy, John. How difficult is it? What's it about the place that make it so difficult?
Yeah, it's a good question, Jan. I mean, we haven't done, South African teams haven't done particularly well since the Rainbow Cup when the Bulls came here in that final. Look, it's a long way. Believe it doesn't sound odd, but some of our management left Cape Town on Tuesday or Monday afternoon and got here at 2 a.m. on Wednesday. So we've got certain commitments to how we got to travel. So that's tough. No, I think probably here is pleasant, but I think the Italians are known to be a very fiery bunch at home. That's probably got a significant factor. I mean, in terms of the facilities and hospitality, it's flawless. But I think they're just very, very passionate at home. We see it in the Six Nations, and we've seen it over this competition. And we saw those, for them to have got 4 points, which is basically a win, over Sharks home, Leinster home. Well, the other order, it shows us something there in terms of the way they fight here.
Salmaan, and as a follow-up from me, what do you expect? What aspects of the game do you expect them to challenge you in most?
I think I mentioned earlier about the attack. I think it's something that they'll focus on. The attack coach is Dave Williams, and we all know that he's very good. He obviously changed a bit of their structure. They've got some new young exciting players in there. So we think that they'll be looking to run the ball. And like I said, the weather will play its part, and the pitch is really good. So those are all the things that will go in their way or our way for the day. So we'll be well prepped on that, I think.
Cool. Thanks, Jan. I know the Bulls have got a press conference on at the same time, so it's good to know Jan picked us up with them. Stephen is next. Hand up, Stephen. Go for it.
Thanks, Mike. How's it, guys? Nice to see you.
Hi,
Stephen.
Dobson, it's an interesting selection with Sasha in the midfield. I know he did some duty there last season, but what is your plan with him? Is it for him to be able to cover various positions, or do you almost see the inside center position as almost like a stepping stone towards fly off eventually?
Yeah, I think that's probably his journey. He's very, very like Damien. He's very, very like Damien in that I think he can do all three really well. He's probably our number 2 fly half. If Mane was to get injured, he'd probably move in there. But I think 12, we learned from the Damien Willems experience. If that's what you ask, well, I think that's what you're suggesting, Steve, that we're giving 12, you just got a bit more time to see what's going on and get used to making those decisions rather than thrusting them straight into 10. So that's the plan. We did debate this week whether to play Damien 12 where he was last week and Sasha at fullback, but we just felt Damien's leadership and experience, at 15, he's played Test rugby at 15, and it would help, because the Zebre do have a very good attacking kicking game. So we just thought that, rather than put Sasha in a position he hasn't played much in at fullback in a game like this, rather put him in at 12 and move Damien back. But I think his long term, I mean, the resemblance to Damien Willems of Sasha is uncanny. And it's not just, I'm talking about how he steps or offloads, it's his physicality, commitment, his work rate, his understanding of the game, the seeing of space. So he's a very, very, very exciting player for us. And
Dobbo, then the disciplinary thing on Sazi, I see he's banned for 3 weeks. Can you just give me your thoughts on the decision, and then also does it sort of make the Western Province 15 game, with Lee playing this weekend, does it make that a little bit more important? Does it just in terms of you guys? Because I mean, for this season, the bottom line is one needs a lot of props.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say, Stephen, that as a team, as a management, as a group of players, we're absolutely flabbergasted with the Sazi Sunday outcome. I think it's I don't think anybody's more aware in rugby about the concerns for their safety than the players. And so they, believe it or not, they know when somebody's done a cheap shot or that sort of thing. And, I think to sanction a young kid like Sazi like that, it's fine. We can go afterwards on the Thursday after the game and ban him for 3 weeks. But, it's looking like an inconsistent product. We should also be going back to other games maybe or other situations and say, okay, that should have been a red card. Here's 3 weeks. So at least everybody in rugby understands what the standard is. If Sazi's the standard, no problem. If that's what Sazi gets, 3 weeks. But then it has to, because I think we're losing players and the public with inconsistency. And so that would be, so I say we must go back so that everybody understands that. The other thing which probably concerns me about the Sazi Sunday thing, he gets a 3-week ban, and I don't know what else he could have done. So I understand, Stephen, if we lead with an elbow with a carry or something like that, then you get a red card. Well, that's understandable. Ban him because he must learn not to do that. It's player behavior can change. Having watched that Sazi clip 100 times, I'm not sure he's dipped. I'm not sure what else Sazi could have done. So there's nothing Sazi, you can ban and punish him, but it's like you punish the kid for stealing sweets out of the tuck shop or something like that, like I was. You punish the sweets, and then don't tuck shop. But I don't know what you're telling Sazi not to do anymore. I really don't understand that, and I think so. That's probably my frustrations, and I also think, you're talking about a 22-year-old player. He should be treated with some dignity and respect in this process. And so I really feel for Sazi. I think we must probably take this up in our own way, but yeah, we've had a few URC disciplinaries now, which hopefully we must try and stop for us, because it's frustrating in some ways. But as regards to yeah, look, it's I thought Sazi was brilliant when he came on the field last week, and it's so excited about his future. But we need to get him time in the saddle. So having a ban of 3 weeks and missing the toilet challenge isn't great. It's not great for the team, nor great for Sazi's development. But yeah, so he's not coming here, or he's not playing, and he's not coming to Wales. But we'll look forward to having him back, because I think he's a very, very exciting player. And I really feel for him, because he's thoroughly confused and upset. But we have to accept it and move on. You know, we can appeal it, but what's the point? You spend money and time. We need to focus on the rugby now. And Sazi will do his best to, I don't know, disappear when the guy. No, I'll stop there.
Sazi can do that. Will he be doing that course to sort of bring it down by a week? I think they can bring it down to 2, although I suppose he'll be doing something that he already knows about. But yeah, it's yeah.
Thanks, Stephen.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks, Mike. That's from me for the timing. That's all right.
Great. Thanks, Stephen. Right, Kumba, you next. Go for it, Kumba.
Cool. Thanks, Michael. Hi, John. Hi, Salmaan. Dobbo, I just wanted to find out, when a team is named and it's got a lot of changes, particularly the backline, there is an element of being error prone. So I just want to find out from you what a good result in terms of the performance of the new combinations will be like for you.
Yeah, good question. As regards the probably the big change is the 2 centers. Yeah, we wanted to get Sasha start, and you know, we are thin at centre, and we had to get Alapati on the field. So I felt like, you know, it's the right thing to do. There is a risk, but I think, as Salmaan would tell you, on Wednesday they combined absolutely brilliantly. So I think that they have a really good understanding based on not very much time together. I think a good result for us would be that they, you know, that they can. I think defensively, that Alapati is not 13th, but not position he's played the most in, so that they can. You know, he can be comfortable there in leading the lineup like Ruanel or Dan du Plessis does in our system. That's important to us. And the way, I'm actually not even worried about the other side, that they play off each other. But I mean, that is obviously something we'd like to see, where Sasha can put him through a few holes like happened on Wednesday. And that's probably the 2 areas. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Next is Keenan. Go for it, Keenan.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, John. Hi, Salmaan. John, I was just wondering, in terms of you've spoken about the delay that you guys have taken to arrive in Italy, and combined with the fact that Zebre have performed really well in second halves, in particular, thinking back to the Sharks game where they almost snuck back to win it. Have there been discussions going around about focusing extra hard in those second half and then the dying minutes of the match, and how will you look to get through those phases?
I think we put a big without giving too much away, put a big accent on defence this week. I think our defence was excellent in that sort of last hour of the Edinburgh game, and it's something we want to build on. Better we defend, we create turnovers. We know what we like in that. I think if we can stay at our standard defensively, we shouldn't let them back in, maybe like Leinster and the Sharks did. So defensively, we want to be really accurate. We actually saw a lot in our Edinburgh performance, without giving too much away again, that we were really unhappy with. And I think that if we get those things right, So I suppose the short answer is really defensive right throughout the game, in terms of keeping us and not getting drawn into a sort of you score, we score sort of situation.
Cool. Stephen, you still got your hand up. I don't know if you've got another question, Steve.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Just for Salmaan, please. Salmaan, last week was an interesting game for a while. It was almost as if you guys were it felt almost as if you guys didn't pitch up, and then you just caught the light. That initial phase of the game, has that been a talking point this week in the team about addressing that?
Yeah, Stephen. A lot of the credit has to go to Edinburgh. I thought they really played well. They put us under a lot of pressure in the first 30 minutes. But also within saying that, we weren't up to standard. I think set piece wise, I think scrum was a big point this week. It's definitely an area that we'd like to improve on. And obviously, I think our moldy was good, but we can be more disciplined at times. Yeah, I think there was definitely a passage of play that we spoke about. I think we put ourselves under a lot of pressure, and just our work rate of the ball. I think that was also a big aspect that we'd like to improve on for this weekend.
Thanks, Mike. Then, just to clarify something from earlier, what I was asking Dobbo is that URC did put in that press release that if Sazi does a course of sorts, then the last week will be of the ban will be scrapped. So he'll be able to play in that. I think the Cardiff game. Are you guys going to be doing that, or are you just kind of like resigned and we'll just let it go?
I think we definitely do the course. Yeah, we want Sazi back on the field as quickly as possible.
And Dobbo, the Blommer, obviously, we know he's getting married this weekend, but you know, you guys have now you lost Warwick and Blommer came in, and what did you make of him in his first two games?
Steve, yeah, we are really happy. You know, look, people say he's different to Warwick, but we've got him because of his similarities to Warwick in terms of being a game breaker, having X factor, really good on the counter, where we're probably the leading, one of the leading teams around in that. He's absolutely brilliant on the high ball, and so we expect teams not to kick as much distance on us this season after last season, so they might kick more contestables where he's really good. So, he didn't put a foot wrong in our thing. We took a bit of heat for him. People think he wasn't the player we should, but we absolutely thrilled with his progress. I mean, still stuff to do, a couple of things to sort out, but very happy with his progress. And we actually take delight. We've taken a bit of delight, whether that's Chiva, Warwick himself, Marvin, guys who come from here, Mani, more, but who come from here in this region, who can come here, we can give them a sort of lease of life on their careers. And I think Blommers is at the top of the to-do list at the moment, and I think it's made a very promising start.
And then just your thoughts on Willie coming in at 7. Is that just a rotational thing, and what do you expect Willie to give you?
Yeah, I think where we got really good clarity on our game model. The probably one position where we're not, where we've got a little bit more flexibility is at 7, because we've got different types of 7. You've got Ernst, a higher work rate, really good all-round forward. You've got Achievers, who's got amazing X factor, but he does the hard yards, and you've got Willie, who's just a body mover and a body stopper, and so that position is probably our least defined position. I can tell you exactly what the 10 has to do, or the 6, but he brings enormous physicality and really good soft skills. He stops people. We felt against Edinburgh that we could have perhaps been a bit more physical and in moving bodies, cleaning, stopping, and so Willie will come in and bring that. He's one of the best in the country in that area. And also he's got really nice hands. So, as I said, soft skills. So his job will be just, I think if you look at this pack, I thought Salmaan, not because he was here, I told him in the week, he was outstanding last week. A guy hadn't played a hell of a lot of rugby in that. And I just felt he was a little bit, not alone is the wrong word, but yeah, it'd be useful for him and the team if we had some more body movers and body stoppers against Zebre. And so obviously with Adre and Willie and the team, that really ups it in that area.
Oh, Chiva's getting a rest more rather than injury as such.
Yeah, look, he hyperextended his knee. He could have played at a push, but we wanted to give Willie a chance. We brought a guy. We I don't want to bring guys in from outside and not play them or give them opportunities. So, and he's trained really well. So Chiva's, it's probably more rest than injury. And also not being funny, it was Yom Kippur this week. So he was fasting. And we only had one training day, which he couldn't do because it was on Yom Kippur. So I think having a fresh Achiever back next week will be absolutely brilliant, and hope that knee's 100%.
Just lastly from my side, Salmaan, your Springbok career is stepping up a bit. I mean, it's an exciting time for you. How do you feel about the exposure that you've had and also the way forward?
Yeah, Stephen, it's been really good. It's obviously I didn't really play much, but being in the setup and just getting to know how they do things was really good. Hopefully down the line I can play well for the Stormers first of all, and then put my hand up for contention once again, and hopefully get some more opportunities. But it's all in all, it's been really good being in the mix.
Cool, Stephen. Happy, yeah. Nice one.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Cool. Dylan, you got your hand up. Go for it.
Yes, thanks, Mark. Hi, guys. Hope you're both well. Dobson, just a question for you. Looking at that, the balance of that bench, you've got both Nama and Marcel Tennyson there as loose forward cover. We've mentioned how Zebre like to sort of up the pace a bit in the second half. Without giving too much away, is that sort of the idea with those two? We also know that they cover quite a bit of ground and are quite good defensively and at the breakdown. Is that sort of the idea with having those two on the bench?
100% right. The Sixers, just for the nature of their job description at the moment, struggle to get 80. We also want to bring Nama through. He's had a long injury. So that junior, I mean, we saw Dion Free last week hit the wall at whatever it was, 58 or whatever it was. So that's the idea with Nama. He gets amazing turnovers in the back ends of games when cleaners may be tiring, and brings enormous energy. And Marcel is he's very much in the mold of what we want from a 7 and 8 in terms of having game breaking ability, and he covers amazing ground and he works really hard. So exactly that. So Marcel will come in at 7 or 8 and Nama at 6, but it does leave us with a really fast pack at the end when they might be trying to open it up. Marcel's also capable of getting a steal, but Nama's obviously brilliant at it. But Marcel is also a great attacking player. So as it opens up, without a Chiva, Marcel can come in and do that job. He's very good at that. So he deserves a shot, opportunity.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for your time. Hello. All the best for tomorrow. Enjoy the Parma ham tonight. We'll chat to you after the game.
Thanks a lot.
Of course, Mike, you're sensitive to our non-Parma ham people on the Zoom eating.
No, that's why I said you. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair play. Okay.
All right.
Yes, thanks, man. Yeah, good luck.
Yes.
Thanks.